So, today I wanted to talk about when the neurologist finally arrived in the hospital and was able to really check me over and go over my labs, test results, and everything they had done over the past 5 or 6 days. And he literally came in, had me take my blood pressure, heart rate, sitting down, sitting up, and then standing up, and from there made his diagnosis of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which of course at the time myself and my parents and no one else has ever heard about, and we had no idea what this meant. And he explained it as a change in heartbeat, over 30 beats, and between changing positions, which mine was an astronomical change, and I wasn't able to do that stuff by myself, and I wasn't able to stand for the traditional couple minutes that you're supposed to. It was like seconds, and just from going from the laying down to sitting, I think my heart rate went from it was probably in the 90s to lower hundreds laying down, and it would go up to around 180 from just sitting up, not even standing. So he made the diagnosis based on that, and they put me on atenolol, which is a beta blocker, to help treat it. And when they gave out paperwork, and the next day when they released me, and I'd been in the hospital now for a week, and had a diagnosis of some sort because of, I guess they're not sure. They said that they're not sure why it happens, and that I would probably grow out of it, which I did not. And I think the statistics that when he said that most people will grow out of it is actually been proven wrong. And trying to get advice about this was extraordinarily difficult. I think the hardest part for people in the beginning when they get the diagnosis is, especially then, I know that there are doctors out there that have more knowledge on this now. It's been well researched. It's been over 10 years. I would hope that they would have the knowledge by now, and I've seen extraordinary doctors who know what they're doing. But then, when I was 16, the only thing they could recommend was medication. I was an very active person at the time. I would run, I would bike, I'd go to Cedar Point all the time in the summer with my family and my brothers, and we asked what I could do, and they gave me basically nothing except to maybe increase the salt in my diet, and hopefully the symptoms combined with that and the medication would go away on their own, and to go home and rest and see if it goes away. And to me, at 16, it's devastating, probably for stupid reasons, but I'm an avid Cedar Point person. I go, Platinum Pass, go there all the time, and it's just I can't be told summer's just starting and you're telling me I can't do the one thing I look forward to, in the summer. One of the things I look forward to in the summer, and being stubborn, at least that was the motivation to say I have to figure out what will make me better. And I've been part of a research study on how people feel, how this affects the person diagnosed with it and their family. And in the beginning, and I hope not many people have to go through this anymore, because being told as a teenager that they don't know when you're gonna get better, and they don't know what you can do, and they have very little information to give you, but they have this diagnosis. It's good to have a diagnosis, but then if the medication fails, you have nothing, and they have no advice to give you. And that's really tough on people, for both the person diagnosed and their family and their friends and anyone who wants to hang out with them, because now they don't understand, because you can't give them information that the doctors don't have. They didn't know a bunch, and it's really hard to have no direction when you're given this diagnosis. And I decided, at the time, that I had to make myself better, and I took the medication. I went home. I wasn't feeling any better I was feeling minorly better from when they admitted me into the hospital, but I wasn't feeling great at all. And I was like, why are they sending me home? I have this diagnosis, but I'm still not feeling better. And it was a very severe episode to the point, admitting me, and they thought I had a brain bleed or a concussion or epilepsy because the symptoms I was displaying. And now it's this thing they can't, at the time they're like, oh, it's just a change in the heartbeat. And at that time I was like, well, how does that affect everything else? But that's it for this episode. I'll go into my home recovery next episode and tell you guys how I did.